For the final time in 2024 IKF Grand Nationals, we're green and we're racing in 206 Senior. That inside line as expected, a good run. A lot of drivers already, bumper to bumper, Chambers into the dirt. A couple of drivers around there in the back. One of the Kart Republics goes around, and it looks like one of the TB Karts and one of the Intrepids went around there towards the back of the field already, too wide. Zing and Frank all the way through this field. Chuck Jensen, your winner already earlier on today. Side by side there for a second, but already up in front, Aiden Rudolph and Matthew Winfrey. Breakaway.
Yeah, good start from Winfrey and Rudolph. They have a little bit of a gap between Stanfield and Chambers in third and fourth. Then you have Fandry, Reagan Seville, and then Harrell. I mean, a bunch of fast drivers. Oh, as you have a little bit of contact, that is the Kart Republic.
Like Willinger there, unfortunately, into the dirt. So not the start that Willinger would have wanted there, Rocco.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of a hand gesture. He was definitely not happy with that move. I don't know who would be happy with that move, but now as you look at your leaders, they still have that bit of a gap. You're going to see these three, though, Stanfield, Chambers, and Fandry, 2 or 3, sorry, I can't count. Very fast drivers. They're going to catch up to these two up ahead.
Jerry Fandry as well, the kid from the Midwest, getting himself inside of the top 5 with issues early on in the day, and there goes Stanfield, not wanting to wait for too long on Winfrey. They go side by side there for a second, the Invader and the TB Kart. Stanfield's going to have to concede.
Yeah, I saw Chambers. I thought he would probably follow Winfrey through to get that third place position, but he chooses to work with Stanfield. Those three drivers are probably going to all work together, try to get around Winfrey. You see Jerry try to swing wide to get a better run, and now our 4 drivers behind Rudolph. Rudolph has a huge gap now, and then it is Stanfield, Chambers, Winfrey, and then Fandry. You see Fandry point forward there, so Fandry's really eager to work together with these drivers as you have Reagan Seville pull up with Harrell in tow. All these drivers still running single file right now. This is the stage of the race where everybody needs to put their head down and work together and pull away as you have, I think that is Weaver. That might be Jay Weaver out of this race. He pulls off of the track, and that is it for Jay.
Unfortunately there for the 690 off the racetrack there, and he's going to be out of this one early, so unfortunate there for Weaver, but a change for the lead. Alex Stanfield looking to go through. Winfrey looked to go through on Chambers as well. Wasn't able to get it done, and they made a little bit of contact, but Alex Stanfield leads us away here. Jensen Harrell at the tail end of that group. Rudolph not wanting to waste any time. Josie Chambers are going to go through, and he could get steamrolled here. Stanfield stuck on the outside. Winfrey gets through. Stanfield there still stuck on the outside. Seville kind of being patient here. Jensen Harrell as well. A career best kind of placement here for the Kart Republic driver, who's inside of the top 5 and just outside, just outside of the top 5 and well inside of the top 10, but all that little bit of fighting allowed Bryce Frank to close down his gap. Those drivers that are currently 6th on back are looking to kind of close down their gap, but Rocco, I mean, I have to mention here, the gap in between Chambers and Winfrey hasn't really closed down. If anything, hasn't closed down at all. So if I'm Alex Stanfield, I'd kind of look to either try and make a move here on the Invader, and you see the gap there perfectly. Isn't closing down on this back straightaway, and Stanfield knows it, and he wants to go here for the 3rd spot, but just needs that last little bit of push from Reagan Seville from behind.
Yeah, you saw him fade low for a second, but decided to think better of it, because right now it's very important that they don't waste any time. Winfrey gains a 10th on your leaders there. He was about 8 tenths back. Now they're 7 tenths back, so they're still making progress. 7 minutes left to go. If they keep up this pace, they'll definitely catch up to your leader, so there's no real point to fight right now at this pace.
Josie Chambers has the fastest lap of the race here, a 1:12.827, and you see it there kind of populate on the left-hand side of your screen. And he's, keeping well with Aiden Rudolph, and that gap further back, is kind of opening up here because Winfrey and company are going a couple of hundredths of seconds slower than Chambers, and over a couple of laps, that gap starts to open up bit by bit by bit, and that's why Stanfield is kind of wanting to make that move on Winfrey at this stage of the race. You see all the kind of negotiations going on back here, too, in between Fandry, Frank, and others. And there goes Stanfield again, kind of fading low, looking to get through. A little bit of hop in his TB Kart machine, and that, change for the lead in that group kind of changes finally, and Stanfield goes up to 3rd and points forward, the same as everybody else, kind of gives you enough time to tell the driver behind you, like, hey, man, let's push forward. Let's try it this way. You led for a couple of laps. I let you lead. I didn't really try anything, but now let me lead. Let's see if we can really close down our gap, and let's see if we can kind of get up there.
Reagan is falling back. When we spoke to him yesterday, he said that he has pace. They have Truly Adams, my mistake, going around Harrell there. A little bit of contact. Kelvin Zing makes contact with Harrell, and they're going to try and push themselves past Harrell now. That is Jacob Oliver bursting onto the scene in his GFC.
Rudolph still leads us away, and kind of telling Josie Chambers here to wait and bear with them here for a couple of moments more and go at it here in the final lap. The lap times, the 1:12.9 for Rudolph, Similar for Josie Chambers and for Stanfield, they gained a 10th that time by, so you see that gap close down just that little bit.
1 lap to go this time by. The gap is visually closing. And now, what will Josie Chambers do on this final lap?
White flag in the air this time by. The fence lines are absolutely packed here at the Amarillo Kart Complex. Everybody watching on as your 206 seniors look to define who's going to win the Duffy here this year. Rudolph leads us away. Chambers there in second. Still no fighting for now, and I think for Chambers it may be on the back straightaway, but Stanfield still not able to close down his gap. They ran almost identical lap times, and he could very well be within a shot. You see Rudolph there, veteran move, pointing to his helmet, telling Chambers to be patient, to wait just that little bit longer, give themselves an opportunity to really fight it out and make it a 2-horse race. And I'll let Stanfield and Winfrey get into the mix here. The final couple of quarters are coming our way here shortly. Everybody on their feet, everybody looking on as Rudolph leads us away at the IKF Grand Nationals. Gonna start to defend from Josie Chambers. Stanfield gonna start to close down his gap. Rudolph gonna have to go to the bottom here to close down on this back straightaway. Chambers, does he have enough room to stick it on the bottom on his Intrepid machine? Not close enough as of yet. This is it. The final couple of quarters. Chambers around the outside looking to set up an over-under on Rudolph, who defends it perfectly. Stanfield closes down his gap. Nobody gonna deny Aiden Rudolph from going back-to-back and winning the Duffy in 2024.
Very close finish between your top 4. Chambers comes across the line in second place. Stanfield and Winfrey, your third and fourth place finishers. As we have the rest come around, I think it'll be Bryce, Frank, Fandry, and Adams, 5th, 6th, and 7th.